our analysts.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And Jat, I think we agree. When we talk about champion select, it's time to get rid of that Tristana ban. Let's jump right into it. CLG taking another really solid victory to go 2-1 up in the series. But let's start in this champion select because the first pick Echo ending up in Darshan's hands yet again.
I think it's like, when you look at the tanky top laners that are in the meta today, you talk about all the different champions that are available. You talk about, you know, like your Nautilus, your Poppy, your Echo, maybe your Maokai's, etc. Echo, to me, is clearly the one that stands out as like a Darshan special, right? This is a champion that you can make plays on, that you can split push on, that you can carry on while still doing that tanky build. And I think that it's like, it's kind of a mistake, I think, to be giving him this champion because it's like put Darshan on a Maokai or something like that. If he had to play that kind of champion, he doesn't get to do these kind of things. And he's coming up huge for CLG.
Yeah, Freak, what's the thinking here? Like, how does he end up getting a first pick Echo?
This was the bargain, right? And it threw Liquid for a loop. I noticed it because Dardoch was on cam right when it happened. They first picked the Echo and he goes, shoot, like, because they leave it to Nidalee. He's like, game one, we gave you Nidalee, we took Kindred, no big deal, enjoy, CLG. And CLG's like, Nidalee's like the best champion in the game. Maybe Echo is actually that now, and like people are catching up to that thought process, right? But in game one, CLG thought Nidalee was the best. And now they're like, no, Echo's the most important for this matchup. I think there is no world where this doesn't get first picked or banned in game 4. By the way, Liquid will take this one away, but like, Liquid were banking on the Nidalee going over and getting Echo themselves. They had to pivot from there.
Six or CLG. That's pretty much it. They were really hoping to just give up Nid again, but I think that was,
Right, they're going to leave both overpowered junglers, the Kindred and Nidalee up. Say, okay, you're going to get your pick of the two, but we'll still get the other, and we'll counterpick the Echo away. That doesn't happen. But not only that, let's look at the rest of Champion Select, because they take away the Ryze. So they settle for taking away Ryze away from Huhi, which was something that he had a moderate amount of success in the previous games. But then CLG answers Elise Caitlyn. And that was what you had pointed out, Freak, as being something that you thought Piglet should go back to in Game 3.
Second round Caitlyn was huge.
Yeah, I mean, I think Caitlyn is one of, if not Piglet's best champion throughout the season. He played it a lot. It's super safe. It's lane dominant. And this is supposed to be TL's strength, right? They're supposed to be smashing this bot lane. And then, you know, CLG's saying, well, maybe our bot lane's a little bit weaker. I'm sure they don't think it is. And I mean, it's not looking like it is. And they're just going to pick a lane dominant matchup. They pick Caitlyn, they pick Soraka, and TL kind of has the audacity to pick Sivir into that, which I think is a really bad matchup for Sivir. So, I mean, you know, in that 2v2, they're coming out on top.
Yeah, we saw Team Liquid there making their way back to the stage after a huddle. They look to be in good spirits moving into Game 4. I want to come to you, Kiwi, because as we close out the draft here for CLG, Anivia, Soraka. I mean, the Anivia kind of came out of left field. Soraka we had seen play a pivotal role in Game 2, and yet again, Aframu played it to near perfection in Game 3.
Yeah, Anivia is clearly a Ryze counter pick for Huhi, and I gotta give Huhi credit for this series. I really underrated him compared to Phoenix. I thought Phoenix would be a really major factor that would contribute to Liquid's wins. Huhi has been playing equal, if not better, than Phoenix, and is really showing because I thought it would be a more like CLG's team fight versus the individual prowess of Liquid. That's not really happening. They're just getting shut off, and the CLG team is definitely winning.
Now, we talk about Team Liquid's team fight prowess. We have an example of CLG's team fight prowess that we're going to pull that up and Freak. We're going to have us walk through. It's a long replay. It starts at the blue buff and curtails all the way to the Baron.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things to talk about here. It's first off just CLG getting a good pick, but also the team has very few offensive tools. They have to use Baron baits to get more things to happen. Dardoch running in, getting a lot of damage, but the important thing is when the first bit of burst comes down, Liquid loses a ton of cooldown. So Darshan's here, he's tanky, he doesn't care. Stix is in prime position to deal damage, and at a certain point, you're going to see sort of Ryze get cut out for a lot of damage. Ryze will have to flash, and the Kindred ulti will be burned. It's right there. It's Cocoon into that little bit of damage, and there, okay, Team Liquid are now out of cooldowns. But now the only engaged tool CLG has is Cocoon. So they say, hey, your cooldowns are down. We want to press an advantage, so we're going to press Baron. And Liquid have to check Baron. You don't give away free Baron. Heck, it's even on top of a Scuttle Crab. Like, they know they have to go in, but now they get to go back in for the fight. And Phoenix gets jumped in right away by Darshan. Really fortunate Cocoon as well into getting hit by the Caitlyn Q. Grats, there's your first kill. Now you can start running people down because you know you're ahead. And eventually you're going to watch Caitlyn get in a whole lot of damage when they finally get to jump forward. Low a little bit, slowed down. Here come the auto attacks. Phoenix well, you don't have an AD to back you up. You got exhausted by walking forward into even an Anivia ult as well.
Yeah.
And it's just a well-managed sort of secondary fight by CLG.
And I feel like Ryze is just like not working out in this series. Like Ryze is really struggling to enter the fights, and even especially against this sort of composition where there's Soraka, you know, you're a short-range mage, the silencing field completely shuts you down if you do get caught in that. There's exhaust. You know, we talked about the layered CC. You know, that fight started with an Elise Cocoon into the Anivia stun, and that forced like everything, right? And he's just having so much trouble getting in, and that fight was engaged by Phoenix flashing forward into them, right? So it's one of those things where it's like he feels he needs to do this to enter the fight, but he's struggling.
Yeah, ultimately a fantastic game there for CLG. I mean, we've seen it. We have some expectations of what Team Liquid will do when we come back. We'll figure that out in just a moment. Counterlogic Gaming are just one win away from locking up their spot in the finals, and we'll be right back with Game 4 against Liquid in just a few minutes. You're watching the North American Spring Playoffs.
But I played super far back, and then he ganked me anyways, and I had to blow flash.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to counter that besides you ganking bottom. Just because he tried to gank me again, you were able to farm back up?
Yeah. Because if he went just straight bottom there,
You would have been screwed?
I would have been screwed.
Okay, cool.
This could still be a kill. That steadfast presence being down. Parallel convergence locks him up for enough. He's going to give it right over to Darshan.
Be ready to
Yeah, come in, come in.
I'm in top right.
I don't have TP right now.
Bryce, I'm in the sitting kill.
Kill Rise, no flash. Kill Rise. Nice shot.
I'm in Kindred. Kill Kindred.
Stick say, a 1, 2, a third shot. He comes up with a triple. We're going 2-1 here. Match point, Counterlogic Gaming.